Hashtag Carter on Radio 3. One fine day. It is 14 minutes past 12. And time to turn our attentions to a bit of theatre. I want to say hi to Marion McDonald from Baz and Maz Productions. We spoke before about Broadway Idol.
Thanks, Phil.
And that was a cracker. That was good fun.
Excellent. Yeah, it went very well. Went down really well in Hong Kong. It was a first, and this is another first for us as well.
Well, we've brought two of the cast members with us with you today. Marge Cheung and Jai Ignacio. Good to see you both. Tell us about Pippin, would you?
Pippin is a story of a young university graduate who's just come home and is looking for his purpose in life.
No, that's Blood Brothers. Let's talk about this.
So many shows, and so many movies I've seen.
Let's talk about the son of Charlemagne. It was a few years earlier. You know what I mean?
So, well, he happens to be the son of King Charlemagne as well. Yeah. But the show is written in a way that it's still just as relevant to today's themes as well. Okay. Looking for your purpose in life at whatever situation, country you're in, is about the same. It's about looking for complete ultimate fulfillment. How can my life have meaning and purpose to it?
I love the subjects that people choose for musicals, and I mean it's been the subject of much ridicule in the past. I don't know if you guys, the tall guy when they do Elephant Man, the musical, the most ridiculous subject for a musical you can ever find. I mean, who'd have ever thought that, the guy who was, and he wasn't even a hunchback actually, was he? He just had a little deformity, probably scoliosis or something
like that. Yeah. They just decided to put. So we'll call this one the Hunchback.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking of that thing about the one pig. Anyway, so who'd have thought that in this, years and years and hundreds of years ago, to do a thing about the purpose of life? You know what I'm getting at, Eddie?
It's a very interesting story. It was Roger O'Herson, one of the script writers, who originally picked up the tale of King Charlemagne and his son Pippin, who was planning to overthrow the king and become king and leader of the Holy Roman Empire.
It's a novel concept. They never really did that very often, did they?
So they started with this original script, Pippin,
yeah.
And then one of the writers pulled out of the piece. Stephen Schwartz came into the piece, Roger O'Herson combined, and then made a much stronger story, and then took it in to get an agent for it, and this is in the early 70s, and then Bob Fosse came on board into the project, and the story was extensively rewritten for the Ben Vereen, the leading player character.
Brilliant. Have you seen him? Have you seen him? He was in Roots, wasn't he?
Yes.
And also he sang Sweeney Todd. He was the black Sweeney Todd, and he was fantastic. Absolutely. Anyway.
Yeah.
We digress.
Yeah, well, he won 2 Tony Awards for this show as well. It was an outstanding performance, and the show, as I said, was really rewritten around Ben Vereen's talent.
I was thinking, did it get fame and notoriety because of Bob Fosse? Because it's like Hair. It's really 70s. You look at this show and say, yep, 1970s, whereas some of them do pass the test of time. But is it because everybody loves Bob Fosse that this show became such a big hit, guys? What do you know?
I don't think Bob Fosse-wise, it's the first show that you think of when you think of Bob Fosse. You think of Chicago and Cabaret and the other work that he's done. But Pippin, someone's actually done it 5 years ago in Cantonese, but it's not the first thing you think of when I heard of Bob Fosse's name. For me, anyway.
How do you say it in Cantonese then?
Bin Bin Sing Jun.
Bin Bin Sing Jun.
Bin Bin Sing Jun.
Sing Jun. No, that's thank you. Yeah. No, I remember that was done about 10 years ago here in Cantonese as well, with Muhammad.
Yeah.
Anyway, so you don't think that it's just necessarily because he's such a well-known director that it became a bit of a rock and roll hit?
It won, in its first year out in Broadway, it won 5 Tonys, and I think that really launched it as well. It won, so Bob Fosse won Tonys for choreography and direction for it. The show won the Tony World Best Actor for Ben Vereen in the show as well. And I think it just really, same time as Hair, Godspell, Jesus Christ Superstar were really all around that era. And it was just as the musical was moving from the old Rodgers and Hammerstein traditional model, breaking into this new rock pop style musical. And so it really took a very different approach. For example, they did a deal with Motown Records to allow Michael Jackson to record the single from it, Corner of the Sky, in exchange for promotion of the show. So it was a really different approach to how you sell a musical.
It's quite a hard hit. I saw your dress rehearsal the other day. First up, it was great. The cast were really excellent, really on their game, and it's in the Amphitheatre.
Yes, it is an outdoor production.
Here.
Yeah.
No, a dress rehearsal is usually completely rubbish, but this was very good.
Thank you.
I don't know if that's a good sign. I don't know if it's a good sign or a bad sign.
I'm hoping it's a good sign.
One thing about this venue that struck me, and I know you're going to have lots more whiz bangs and toys, but to sit for, it was only an hour and a half, but because there's so much extraneous noise going on, it's hard work to actually stay with it. So I guess you have to be extra extra colourful and extra movement and extra bouncy to compensate. Does that make sense?
Yeah, you do. And it's a very different approach to the piece also because we're performing in Lang Kwai Fong. It has to be very hip, up-tempo. It has to be relevant to the kind of audience that we're going to attract to the Lang Kwai Fong area as well. You want to fit in with the surrounding nightlife there too. We're also adding microphones and thanks for coming along to our dress rehearsal. You didn't see us with the microphones yet. Wait till it gets a bit louder.
You're talking about the audience that is in Lang Kwai Fong and stuff. So, but this is easy because you open on Friday night, and the audience that's going to come to see this will all be in 97 until about 6:30.
Yeah, true.
Perfect.
Very, very true.
So no
Boisterous
problems.
crowd we're going to get.
Would you? Very simply speaking, how have you changed it apart from the fact that it's outside?
Aside from the fact that we're outdoors, there is no wings, there's no set for this production. You're constantly on stage as an actor, so you are always in character. You're creating individual characters for yourself. So each individual cast member, there are 13 of them.
Yes.
Yeah,
But it
that's
is.
right.
Yeah.
Very interesting to watch.
That's the biggest challenge, I think, for me as an actor to do this piece is because you're going to be there all the time. You're going to be seen. There's no place for you to just, live off.
It's 90 minutes of being completely focused in your role, and you're trying to make sure that while you're acting, you're also not drawing away attention from the action that's happening on stage when you're on the side.
I suppose you thought about this, but firstly, it is a bit like Bertolt Brecht in a
It
way.
is
very,
But
very
secondly, it is like medieval entertainment because they would all just be there. And the
Street entertainment,
Yeah,
exactly.
street entertainment.
That's right. Well, the idea for using that space was
Marion's going,
originally
"Oh, damn,
born.
I should have put that on the programme note.
It was originally born from sitting out there doing Christmas carols last Christmas with Caterwall, Beth and Graves group. And I
What, in
sat
this
in this
gig, in
space.
this
I
joint?
sat in that
same
particular
venue.
space looking around thinking you could kind of squint your eyes and look through the pollution haze and see it's a sandstone amphitheatre that lends itself to being the royal court of Charles the Great. And that was where the idea for producing Pippin in that outdoor space first came from.
And we could feed people to the gerbils afterwards and stuff. Anyway. Tell us about your characters, guys. Marion's the director, executive director, producer. What's your gig, really?
I'm director and producer of this show.
Right.
We're both players within the group of, the travelling players
Yeah,
that present Pippin. Well, my character, I'm not sure I could actually say what my character does in broad daylight.
You sort of grind around quite a bit, don't you?
grind
It's a little
around
bit
quite a bit.
Moulin Rouge, your character. Is the best way I'm going to say it right now.
I grind with Jamie, but I don't...
Yes, but we won't mention that part just yet.
We won't mention that part just yet. It's quite, what Marion's ourselves within the group and where we fit in within the group of players. I think it's just, I know where my...
Phil's laughing at me at the moment silently.
I'm not laughing. I'm not laughing. No, the style's interesting here. I mean, it's not like one person, the chorus, and then the sub-principal, and then the two
I would
stars.
still say it's a very much ensemble piece. We're all playing off each other. I mean, you have some of the named characters, named actors who, let's say Sam Kriegel, who's the Queen Fastrada, and we have Mika Zant, who is Prince Louis, the half-brother.
Michael Lynn.
But they all come in and join in with the ensemble stuff. There are two whole scenes where they're not even their character. They're again come back to be the players.
One thing, Marion, that people seem quite divided on is the use of a narrator, a linchpin guy. Now, Arvin Robles is playing that part. But what do you think about the whole concept of narrator?
I personally like it, and I know the show was rewritten, as I said, for Ben Vereen to play that role. And for me, Arvin is Hong Kong's answer to Ben Vereen. He is a superb narrator of this particular story, but he has to bring a lot to it as well. He is also singer, dancer, has a very demanding role, equal to the role of Pippin, played by Michael Lynn in this show.
Yeah.
So I like the role of narrator a lot. I think it weaves you through the various adventures that Pippin goes through in his quest for complete fulfillment.
Michael Lynn also gets to tap dance. What a surprise.
I know. We couldn't possibly waste one of Hong Kong's most talented tap dancers by not giving him a tap break.
Maz and Baz Productions presents Pippin, the outdoor musical spectacular. Give us where, when, why and how.
Okay, it's on this Friday, Saturday and Sunday evenings in the Loch Hing Lane Amphitheatre at the end of Woon Lane in Lang Kwai Fong. You'll hear us, don't worry. And you can get tickets from Cafe O stores around town, $190, and it's free seating. Welcome to see you there.
Cheers. Thanks very much.
Thank you.